$49 to $54. Let's see if you got all your stuff going on in here. Should be a wheel in here. And that's in there. This aluminum wheel, this is like always gone. You know, compressor's in there. This is an iconic soda machine. As soon as you look at one of these, you think of barbershop, general store, gas station, anything from that time period. This is one of those pieces, as soon as you see it, it connects and it takes you back. This has been repainted. If this was original paint, super nice, super clean, and worked really well, probably $2,500, maybe $3,000 for the right person.
Okay.
So I'd be a player on the machine at 9, and then 1, 2, 3 Coke coolers, $100 a piece.
Most things that I own, I have trouble parting with.
You don't sell them, they're just going to sit here till the rest of the bottles run out.
It tears at me a little bit. 125.
125 a piece?
Yeah.
Or $75 a part.
$12.50.
Ah, $12.25.
Okay.
All right. I like this guy.
I'm getting a little long in the tooth. If the stuff stays here, the kids will probably end up selling it for 10 cents on the dollar.
He leads you in. He's like, oh, come up with a number. This first deal shows that Bob is sentimental about some of this stuff. He kept one of the Coke coolers, but it also shows he's willing to let a lot of this stuff go.
I had a wife who ran Pudding Stone Antiques out of this place.
Okay.
She was selling junk that I collected over the years. Although she did glassware too. I had never done much glassware.
So you guys were probably a pretty good team. If she was buying glassware and maybe some primitives and stuff, and you were buying tools, you know, you had something for everybody.
But she never sold my printing presses.
Oh man, it's a bruiser.
What possessed you to buy that? And that's heavy duty.
I cleaned out an old book and printing store on Shane Street in Detroit. It had been vandalized. And I took my Amish friends down there. Most of these buildings were built by the Amish. It was a very dangerous area. So I had one of my guys standing at the door who kept a gun. And we went in, and the main thing I took out was all this stuff, and it was just going to be thrown away.
You can't stand to see anything thrown away.
Now I'm going to find out whether you guys really know about old stuff or not.
Test us.
What's that?
It's a wagon jack.
The wagon jack,
I originally went to university to be a history teacher. That didn't last very long. So these are all butter churns. Butter churn, butter churn, butter churn, butter churn. What have you been weighing your cotton bales on?
I haven't done that for a while.
Well, and just in case you ever do, you ought to have a cotton bale scale.
Oh, it's a scale underneath of it. And you know what? I've never seen one.
Passing things on to other people is an enjoyment for me. You know about these?
Huh?
Didn't even stop and look at them.
I seen them, I didn't know what they were. I mean, they make some type of...
In the old days,
Okay.
when they logged in northern Michigan, they floated everybody's logs down the river. So you went in and you marked your logs.
Sure, just like you marked your cattle back in the day.
Right. So when they got to the place where they saw the logs up, they knew who the log belonged to. My junk collection I sometimes call a museum, and I get a kick out of taking people through it.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah,
What about this piece here?
a lot of money.
This is a letter writing center. You would have kept your stationery in there. You would have kept your envelopes in there. It has the pen. This would have been kind of a high buck piece, you know what I mean? If somebody would have some money to put a little writing area like this.
And it's got the key.
Got the key. It has the original inkwell in it. I mean, this looks like it's made in England. This would have sat on a tabletop. What would you have to have for that?
A lot of money.
What's a lot of money?
Pick a number.
$200.
Not enough.
$225.
50.
$250?
Yeah.
I've never seen one like this before. This is nice. It's original. You got it.
Okay.
You got it. This is a neat
Okay.
piece. This thing is fantastic and it's complete. I mean, this is the kind of item I want to buy. I All I gotta do is put a price tag on it. It's bolt and go.
Let me keep my eyeballs out here.
Well, I can see why this thing might exist if it's way back here. I mean, we're both Aerosmith fans. We want to see this thing.
Now, one of the founding members of Aerosmith is driving over here to meet us. Wow.
Survive 100 days in the Arctic
This cold ain't no joke.
for $1 million.
This place will crush you.
10 new contestants. The last to crack wins. Arctic alone. Starts Saturday, the 8th of August on History.
911, police paramedical. They're on their way, they'll be there shortly.
That's the most important piece of evidence you got right here.
This is what you call a cold. That's not a forced entry or anything like that.
Is anyone here?
Would you tell me if you knew anything?
The chase is what it's all about. We don't give up.
Critical moments in every case happen within the first 48. Starts Thursday the 6th of August on Crime and Investigation.
Bob.
More stuff that way.
We're picking with Bob and his grandson Dave in Michigan.
Well, I got a question for you, Bob. Are you still buying?
Unfortunately, yes.
Bob has been collecting for 50 years. This guy never met an item that he didn't want to buy, and now he's surrounded with it on his property. What about where'd you get this at? World Series, Welcome Visitors, 67.
When the 67 World Series was held in St. Louis, Missouri, I was driving piling for the Spanish Pavilion across the street from the baseball stadium. So during the World Series, they went around and hung up these signs. And when they got all done with the World Series, there were at least a dozen of them on our site, and I'm sorry I only took one of them.
Oh, this is cool. Look at that. Double-sided. It's incredible. The last time I found anything related to the Cardinals was a cardboard cutout of Dizzy and Daffy Dean. It was waterlogged, it was stained.
Based on the condition that this is in right now, you're looking at about $800.
That's awesome. It's great.
I'm not a big sports guy. I'm not a big sports collector. I understand that people want it, and I can understand the passion behind it, but very rarely do I find something that really grabs my attention. This piece does. What do you gotta have for this, Bob?
$300.
I think you're light on it. I think to the right person, this is a pretty major piece, you know. 67. I was 3 years old. 3 years old. I tell you what, I'm gonna give you $500.
What a deal.
You gonna do it?
Okay.
I appreciate you. It's a beautiful piece. It really is. Look at that. Sports collectors are fans, and the word fan comes from fanatic. And when you start talking about baseball collectors, there's nobody that's more fanatical than them. What can you tell me about this bench?
It's a railroad bench. If the train comes in on this side, people sit here and wait for it. If the train comes in on that side, people sit there and wait for it.
Bob is a collector. He's an accumulator, and he's passionate about history. 300.
Deal.
Could have got at least 100.
Me and Bob and I are like this. If the guy thinks it's cool, boom. Bob, you interested in selling the barber signs? Yeah. 400.
What a deal.
We doing it?
Holy smokes.
I love this guy. I think this is really cool. You get your signage here, your shopping is easy, so you get your baskets here. 16 of them. And the stand itself. So for somebody that has a produce stand or any kind of retail, they could still use these. 75.
95.
90.
Okay.
All right. I appreciate it. Bob, how much is this blanket?
$120 for the two.
Oh, there's two of them.
With the leather things to tie them on the horse with.
It's got a little bit of tearing on that end, but other than that, it's great. Wool. This is the original box, huh?
Yeah.
It's brilliant. I love the colors. I love the design. We're in business.
When I was walking around here, I did see, tell me about the slot machine.
I have absolutely no idea where that came from.
It's called the Pace. This is a nice little tabletop one. It's 5 cents, not super big. Obviously, it must work. You got the nickels in here.
Put a nickel in it.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. The best part about this is that it works. I mean, these things never work. This is made in the 1930s. The rule of slot machines is the more ornate it is, the more it's worth. Even though this is a simpler model, Pace is a recognized name and very collectible. Paint's not too bad on it. Is this something you would consider selling?
Yeah.
$5.50.
No.
Where are you at?
I'm almost $1,000.
Oh, 1,000. Yeah, they're hard to sell. It's nice that it works. I'm thinking I could get maybe 900 out of it.
Oh, really?
Something like that.
Oh, I thought they were worth more than that.
Yeah, they kind of went down a little bit. Just like the stock market, it goes up and down. Collectibles do too. Unfortunately, slot machines have been declining in the last few years.
So what's your best price? What makes it
How
a little bit better?
600.
Okay.
All right. And you know the best part about this is that it works. You know, the market may be soft right now, but I tell you what, once you crank that handle down and listen to those gears spinning, it's old school and it's amazing. All I need to do is find the right person.
How many years have you owned this, Bob?
50?
We're picking with Bob and his grandson Dave. What about this, Bob? Is this something you'd sell?
Yeah, I think that's pretty nice.
200.
The deal.
All right. Bob, he's a lifelong collector, and man, he has everything. Furniture, advertising, this guy's got it all. Hey, Bob. Yeah. How about this? This is a dry chem fire extinguisher. It's got a paper label on it. It's kind of a cool thing. It's something you would pull off the wall and then you would shake on the fire.
Yeah.
The fire extinguisher is made by Ansel Company, which has been a leader in fire protection for over 100 years. It's a dry chem. You would pull it off the wall. This is a great piece. Is this something you'd sell? Of course. I used to collect fire extinguishers. I was a fire inspector for almost 26 years. There's people out there that collect nothing but fire equipment. For a fire enthusiast, fireman, it's be a great piece. 25 on the extinguisher.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
You got it.
All right.
Good deal. This place is packed. It's like you're on a mind marathon. He's got so much stuff, you gotta keep looking and looking.
That's a one-man, two-man shop.
I mean, I think I've got a lot. I don't even hold a candle to this guy's collection.
Okay, now we're talking. This is a bicycle. This is a pre-war streamlined bicycle built by Westfield. There's not a lot of paint, but they're extremely rare bikes and very sought after. I see there's a head badge on it. It's so hard to find anything that's pre-World War II deluxe men's bicycle. If you look at the tank, you can barely read streamlined. So this is 30s. This was state-of-the-art in regards to bicycles in the 1930s. Look at that tank. The tank is everything. They call this a hanging tank. See this strap here? There's a strap here and a strap here, and the tank just hangs on those two straps. Look at the size of this tank. It's huge. When you're talking pre-war bicycles, bigger is better when it comes to the tank. The tank here has a little knob on the side. It's rusted, but this whole thing opens up. This is a door. This is like a toolbox tank. Or it would have held a dry cell battery to run a horn or a light. This light here is much later. This thing is crazy cool. The rear rack is arched and it's the right rack and it's overbuilt and it's heavy and it's cool. It's got stainless steel fenders. You can still see a little bit of the pinstriping on it. And the cool thing about it is that the tires are petrified. No one's been on this bike for years. Beefy. Everything was so overbuilt back then. Where'd you find this at?
I bought that at the flea market in Monroe, Michigan, 50 years ago.
50 years ago?
Yeah.
No way.
So what made you buy this 50 years ago?
It was cool.
Yeah.
I'd never seen it before.
Yeah, it was unique. It was